All right, so what we got here is a 2002 Dodge Dakota, and we've got this old fuel pump here, and it's got, man, it's nasty coming out. Look at that. So anyway, fuel pump is bad. All right, so this is the fuel pump that we got off of Rock Auto. It says it's made in China. It's a Delphi, so I don't know if that means nothing or not. I will. This is the ring that holds that little guy on there. There's the new pump, and this is what you do to get to it. So you go around the bed and you take all the bolts out. It's got 8 bolts holding it down. And then the back there, now this particular car doesn't have the spare in place. But that little ring that hangs down has the drive shaft for the spare tire removal. You'll have to pop that little drive shaft out because that'll hold you. And then you see those wires. Got to unplug the wires. You just grab it on this side of the truck, the driver's side, and raise it up. And what it'll do is this wheel well on the passenger side will go up against the tire like that over there. It just rests up against it, and that's it. That's all there is to it. I know, right? It makes it sound easy, but it's a lot of work. It takes 2 people. So this little red tab here, you got to mess around with it a lot to get it out because it's like a little locking tab. So just take your time and push it out all the way like this. And of course you'll have to press this thing down. I don't even know how much pressing this down helps because it was kind of a tricky job. This guy here, it has a window on each side. This is the pressure line. It's got a window on this side, a window on that side, okay? And it has like a little plastic doodad in there, and you grab it with the needle nose pliers and press it in. So I'll show that in a minute. It's a little different when you're going back together. You will have to remove the fuel fill cap, and this is it here. And it just kind of hangs around, and you can push it out of the way. You can put the cap back on if you want, but this is kind of how I do it. But doing it by yourself is a tricky job. Having somebody help is very important. Okay, so I got this fuel pump housing set in here, and as you can see, it's going to be a tricky deal. It's kind of spring-loaded. It's supposed to face approximately, I think, yeah, it faces this way like this. It faces right out towards the side, okay? Now, what you'll have to do, now I grease this thing up. I grease every time I do an O-ring type gasket, which that's what this is. I use some type of silicone grease to lubricate that little guy so it doesn't bind up and have problems. So what you'll have to do is go around here with your finger and feel where it's stuck and fish it in, like right here. You'll see where it pops up. Just put a little bit of pressure on it and it starts going down. You keep going around with your hand and checking to see to make sure it's not bound up somewhere. There's a place right there where it stood up. Just slowly go around, and as you get it lined up and get it in there, it'll pop in. I'm going to need 2 hands, but this is that clip that I was talking about earlier. It's got a window on each side. Okay, you take this off of the old one, put it on this new one, and when it comes time to disassemble it, you get some needle nose pliers and push in on each one of these. Press them in and it releases. And I put a little bit of lube on this too because there's an O-ring inside here. I don't know if anybody can see it, but there is an O-ring in there. Let me get to the next step here. Alright, so I got that little guy down there and got it to turn. Of course I can't do it with one hand, obviously. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my long screwdriver and just tap around here on these little ends and go real slow and turn this and get it to suck this whole pump assembly down, because right now it's stand up a little bit. This ring will have to be turned. It'll go around at least 2.5, maybe 3 times, and it'll suck this whole thing down, and you'll see where where it gets closer right here on the edge. So just keep note that when you remove this ring, you'll see the gap from the ring to the tank. Just keep an idea about how far that is. I did not record that. But anyway, this electrical plugs in there, and the fuel line plugs in here, and I'm not going to put that on until I get that ring tightened up so it's not in my way and bothering me. So that's all I'm going to video about this to get everybody a good idea of what's going on. You'll have a good day. I hope this helps somebody. Thank you.